fought the thugs. "Where's the money, McHale?" Binghamton demanded. "Produce it or you're finished. Cap it. Finito." "It's in the cannon, sir," Parker shouted. "The cannon? Liar. There's nothing in there." Just then a Nip Zero, a stray from Carrier Group, roared overhead, strafing the fort. "Take cover," McHale yelled. Parker, in a moment of pure, unadulterated panic, grabbed a torch and lit the fuse of the ancient cannon. Boom! The cannon roared. It didn't fire a ball. It fired $62,000 in small, unmarked bills. A literal rain of money descended upon the fort. Hundreds, 50s, and 20s fluttered to the air like green snow. Binghamton stood in the middle of the courtyard, his mouth open as a $100 bill stuck to his forehead. "Manna from heaven," Gruber shouted, catching bills in his hat. "It's the payroll." McHale laughed. "See, Captain? I told you it was in there." Binghamton began to count. 1, 2, 3, 94. "Oh, shut up, McHale." Epilogue: The Eternal War. As the 73 boat sailed back toward Taratupa, the crew sat on the deck, drinking medicinal juice and enjoying the sunset. "You know, Skip," Parker said, leaning back, "being a hero is exhausting. I think I'd like to just be a plain old ensign for a while." "Don't worry, Chuck," McHale smiled. "I'm sure Binghamton has a new plan to get us by tomorrow morning." On the shore, Captain Binghamton stood with his binoculars, watching the boat return. His stomach was growling. His eyebrows were finally starting to grow back. "Carpenter," Binghamton whispered. "Yes, sir." "Get me the British liaison office. I've got a new idea. It involves a volcano, a goat, and Commander McHale." "Brilliant, sir," Carpenter chirped. "Absolutely brilliant." "Wow, wow, wow," Binghamton muttered, popping another pill. What a war. And so, the sun set over Taratupa, where the real battle wasn't against the enemy across the sea, but against the sheer, glorious absurdity of the human spirit in uniform. The end. The Rogues of Taratupa, a McHale's Navy Chronicle. Chapter 1, The Garter Belt Crisis. The humidity on the island of Taratupa was thick enough to chew, but it wasn't the heat that was making Captain Wallace B. Binghamton's blood pressure reach a boiling point. It was garter belts. "I said, wow, 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 wow." Binghamton screamed, his face a shade of purple usually reserved for tropical fruit. He glared at his long-suffering aide, Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter. "Garter belts, Carpenter. You are the supply officer here. If the nurses need garter belts, you snap to it. Shake a leg. Oh, you know what I mean." Binghamton paced his office, his boots clicking rhythmically against the floorboards, a sound that usually signaled doom for someone's naval career. Everything is on my shoulders. The weight of the world, the weight of the Pacific, and now the weight of female hosiery support. "Sir," Carpenter stammered, clutching a clipboard as if it were a shield. "I just got a message from a pal of mine at Comfleet. Admiral Rafferty is arriving today on a sneak. Inspection." Binghamton froze. His jaw dropped so low it nearly hit his metals. "Iron Pants Rafferty? Coming here? Now." He looked around his office. It was a disaster. Outside, the sound of PT-73's crew, McHale's pirates, could be heard laughing, probably brewing another batch of illegal moonshine. The telephone rang, shrill and accusing. "Hello. Yes, this is Captain Binghamton," he barked into the receiver. "Who did you expect? Tokyo Rose? The Sinks and the Petty Officers Club are backing up? So what? I'm the commanding officer, not a plumber." He slammed the phone down and clutched his stomach. "My stomach acid could start a car, Carpenter. Give me my pills." "Please, sir, take it easy on those," Carpenter pleaded. "They give you terrible indigestion." "I don't care," Binghamton wailed. "If I get sick enough, Maybe I won't have to face the Admiral. Wait, if I were sick, I could appoint an acting base commander. He would have to deal with Iron Pants. And who better to destroy in front of an Admiral than McHale? A wicked grin spread across Binghamton's face. The plan was brilliant. He would collapse, McHale would take over, the base would fall into total anarchy, and Rafferty would court-martial McHale into the next century. Carpenter, call the medic. I'm fading. I'm failing. I'm very, very sick. Chapter 2. The Acting Base Commander. Lieutenant Commander Quentin McHale was a man of the sea, a man of the people, and a man who currently had a very good hand of poker going in his shack. When he was summoned to Binghamton's deathbed at the infirmary, he went with a healthy dose of skepticism. "Oh, McHale," Binghamton moaned, draped dramatically across a hospital bed. "I'm in bad shape, terrible shape. The medics don't know what it is. I have to appoint an acting base commander." "Well, sir," McHale said, adjusting his cap, "I'm sure Lieutenant Carpenter here is ready to—" "Carpenter is a boob," Binghamton snapped, then quickly returned to a wheeze. "No, McHale, it has to be you, and I'm appointing your ensign, Parker, as the acting executive officer." Ensign Charles Parker, a man whose primary combat skill was tripping over his own shadow, beamed. "Oh boy, did you hear that, Skipper? Thanks, Captain. You'll never regret this." "I know," Binghamton whispered into his pillow, hiding a smirk. Within the hour, the lunatics had truly taken over the asylum. McHale moved into Binghamton's office, while Parker began trying to organize the base with the grace of a startled giraffe. "Executive Officer Parker here." Parker shouted into the phone. "What? The CBs are building an air raid shelter in the middle of the rifle range? Tell them to keep their heads down." Meanwhile, the crew of the 73 saw an opportunity. If McHale was the boss, the base was their playground. Gruber, the crew's resident hustler, burst into the office. "Skip, the boys want to throw a little shindig. A luau. We can rake in a pile of dough." "Full speed ahead, Gruber," McHale shouted, distracted by 3 different phones ringing. "Action, that's what we need." By the time the sun began to set, Taratupa had transformed. There were hula girls dancing near the docks, illegal gambling in the laundry shack, and a general sense of festive lawlessness that would have given a regular officer a heart attack. Chapter 3. Iron Pants arrives. Admiral Iron Pants, Rafferty's plane touched down with a roar that sounded like the judgment of God. From his hospital window, Binghamton watched with glee. "The trap is set, Carpenter. Look at them. It's a Roman orgy out there. McHale is finished." But McHale wasn't a man to be caught unprepared. As the Admiral's jeep approached, McHale caught wind of the sneak inspection. "All right, boys, clear the girls. Hide the booze. Admiral's coming." In a frenzy of movement, the hula girls were shoved into an air raid shelter. The gambling tables were flipped. Parker put on a lay over his uniform, realized his mistake, and tried to eat it. "Welcome to Taratupa, sir." McHale saluted as Rafferty stepped out of the jeep. Rafferty looked at Parker. "What the devil is that thing around your neck, ensign?" "An old native custom, sir." Parker squeaked. "Welcome ashore." "Wowie, wow, wow." Rafferty's eyes narrowed. "Will you stop that gibberish?" "McHale, I heard Binghamton was in the hospital. I'll see him first. Then the inspection begins." In the infirmary, Binghamton was ready for his victory lap. When Rafferty entered, Binghamton began his performance. "Oh, Admiral, it's disgraceful. You won't believe what McHale has done. There are hula girls in the air. Raid shelter at this very minute." Rafferty looked at McHale. McHale looked at the ceiling. "Hula girls," McHale said innocently. "The captain is delirious, sir. Combat fatigue. He thinks he sees girls everywhere." Suddenly, the closet door in the infirmary creaked open. Lieutenant Nurse Wilson,